quick. Illinois becomes the first state to penalize libraries that ban books.
So we're banning libraries that are banning books.
We are fining libraries that ban books.
Fining libraries that ban books.
Because you're not supposed to ban books. Not in a library,
not
for
in
goodness
sake.
Yeah. I can understand you banning books. I don't even like that in the school. But in a library,
your kid, you get control of what your kid read. They don't have to read anything that you feel like is a controversy or whatever. But in the library, no.
It says, while it's true that kids need guidance and that some ideas can be objectionable, trying to weaponize local government to force one-size-fit-all standards onto an entire community for reasons of bigotry or as a substitute for active and involved parenting is wrong.
Thank you.
And I like how they said active and involved parenting.
Yes.
People are trying to make the government raise their kids.
Yes. Because a lot of parents is not doing a good job anyway.
They're not doing a good job. So they make
you want to step in.
So it says Governor J.B., big man, I call him Big Man Pfizer, or Pritzker, signed a bill into law that withholds state funding for libraries that do not adopt the American Library Association's Library Bill of Rights, which indicates material should not be prescribed or removed because of partisan or doctrinal disapproval.
Thank you.
So we know this is not in Florida. This is Illinois.
This is Illinois. So they won't get fined.
They're going to get fined.
Oh, they will be fined if they remove ban the books. That's why I can't wait for Abbott Elementary to come back, because I remember that episode where that during Black History Month where that parent was complaining that a white teacher was teaching Black history.
Oh yeah,
and I get it. The parents trying to get involved, but apparently he wasn't involved like you thought he was, because she said he was a good teacher and those kids will taught
and it's history. I told you I was reading, and a lot of people don't know this. We were talking about the PETA lady yesterday.
Oh, yeah.
With cannibalism. About her saying the PETA lady that's over PETA said when she put in her will, when she passed on, she want them to barbecue her with onions to prove a point that flesh is flesh.
Right.
Like how disgusted you are about that.
How you should be
That's
with
how
animals.
you should be with animals.
Yes.
So Charlamagne the God had mentioned on the Breakfast Club, well, cannibalism is not new in this country.
Okay.
And that a lot of the slave owners ate the slaves.
And when you told me that, and I was like, oh, God, they did so much to us.
Because if you think about it, if I see you as an animal,
yeah,
how are you different than a bull or a cow?
You won't care. If you take my life and then I'm barbecued.
But they won't let them teach that.
Right.
They won't let them say that.
DeSantis I honestly feel like DeSantis and people who think like him are trying to keep that news and information. Because he's probably sitting there going, why does everyone need to know that slaves were eaten?
Yeah.
That's not news.
But
my kids be all nervous.
And I said, you can put in there that black people own slaves too.
Yes.
The whole truth. Tell the truth.
Because Whitley, the character on Different Worlds, she found out her family owned slaves. Well,
tell the truth.
There are people really like her because she was playing a character.
But I'm saying
she was so embarrassed. She was like, oh my God, my family owned slaves too.
Tell the whole truth.
History.
But nobody wants to talk about that.
Oh, God.
But they'll ban that. And then I read today, The Diary of Anne Frank, both the novel and the picture, the graphic novel, a lot of parents want to ban that.
Yeah, I did hear of that too. That is talking about the Holocaust and how one family was saved and protected.
Too graphic.
What is wrong with people? It's so like sensitive.
So there was two parts in the book that I think there was one part in the book that I know for a fact they don't like.
Okay.
You know, Anne Frank was a teenager.
Yes.
And she was another girl that was there. And I didn't even remember this was in the original book. But she said that she said, let me see your breasts. Mm-hmm. Because she was like interested. Mm-hmm. Like usually when girls go through their teenage years, that's when you start kind of feeling like
they're examining and they're
like,
exploring.
Do I like boys? Yeah. Do I like, whatever. Mm-hmm. And that part they don't like in the book. But it's the truth. It's her diary, for God's sake.
They took Maya Angelou. I don't know. I know why the cage bird sings. Wasn't she violated too?
Yes.
That kind of stuff. They want to keep that hidden from children and kids
and young adults. But what kind of society do you want?
It happens.
There's a reason why Maya Angelou didn't speak.
Right.
So if I'm reading a book and you take out why she's not speaking,
a child wouldn't understand.
That don't make sense.
That's the main reason. And then they learn from that to not that happen to them.
Yes.
It's like
don't let somebody touch you inappropriately.
Yes.
So my thing is, that's part of Anne Frank's story in the diary. Whether you agree with it or not.
I don't understand. And parents, I'm sorry.
It's what they just said. You're trying to substitute not being an involved parent.
Yeah.
An involved parent would say, you're in high school or whatever, read the diary of Anne Frank. We'll discuss it. Let's talk about when she was talking to that girl about, let me see your boobs and can I touch them? Let's talk about that. Do you ever feel that way? That you feel,
and that opens the discussion for you and your kids to talk.
Yeah.
And sometimes Christians do that too.
I know why the
shelter their children.
I know why the cage bird sings. Maya Angelou was violated in that book. You read that.
Was it a family member?
Let's talk about that. Has anybody ever touched you inappropriately?
Yes.
Does anybody ever make you want to not talk or say something or keep your voice, take your voice from you? They're trying to substitute not sitting down with their kids and having a conversation.
And to the point where they're sheltering their kids from truth and things that actually happens.
So what's going to happen is, you're not going to teach them. YK Osiris is going to teach them.
Oh, stop.
Yeah, that's where they're going to learn.
They'll learn in the streets.
They're going to learn from the rappers and the
social media.
The rock stars, the pop singers, the people on TV, the reality stars. They're going to learn from the YouTubers.
Yeah.
They're going to learn from somebody other than you.
Yeah.
Trust me.
It may not be from a book that you feel is being banned.
Thank you.
It may be from a social media YouTube show.
Thank you.
So...
all right.
Or just in the streets.
Thank you. All right. So